Hello, I'm Rick Barclay, and I'm with Piano Clubhouse, and today we're going to learn the song All You Need Is Love by the Beatles. So let's get started. It is in the key of G. G is this: G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Okay, it's in 12/8 time signature with some instances of 9/8 and also 6/8. So just explaining what 12/8 is for just a minute. Anything over 8 basically means that the eighth note receives the beat. So in the case of 12/8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So with the tempo, which is not that fast on this particular tune, what is easiest to think of this is in the case of the triplets in 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, like that. When you get to 9/8, basically it's in 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet. And when you get to 6/8, in 2. 1, 2. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it's a swinging rhythm. Nothing is really necessarily straight in this, other than a couple of instances in the verse, and we'll talk about those rhythms when we get there. Okay, so let me start off with the intro. It actually starts with the French national anthem. A lot of people don't know that, but that's the main instrumental intro, and then we have the vocals come in with that extended intro, if you will. So I'm going to do all the way up into the verse, and then we'll go back, talk about notes and rhythms and so on and so forth. Okay? And then into the verse at that point. Okay, so it starts on a pickup, and pickups are basically an incomplete measure before a downbeat of 1. So in this case, it's on 4. 4, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, a 3, a 4, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're into the vocal. So those notes are D, E, G, A's, up to a D, B, G, G, B, G, E, C, A, G, B, and then we're into the vocal part. Chord-wise, it's a G, so B, D, G, to a D chord, D, F sharp, A, and then another G. It's a little more spread out, G in the bottom hand, and B, and a D. So it goes down, so the melody is the B, but we can add a G here, or you can do an open 6 type sound. Either way works. I like to do the 6th because what we're going down to with the G allows us to hit the G melody note a little bit better. And then B in the bass, and then back up to the B, and then it's a C chord, so C and E, and then a D7, D, F sharp, A, and then C, and then it switches inversion to basically the third inversion. When the C, this is root position, when the C is on the bottom, like that, it is in third inversion. So that would be the remaining with the D, C, F sharp, and A, and then the melody note of G, and then to our vocal point. Now, as I said, it's a G chord, D chord, G chord, and C and a D7. So notice that it's very thin, and that's because the instrumentation on the recording is very thin. It's not real thick right there. So that's why I'm kind of avoiding doing the big thick chords like this. Now, if you wanted to do it that way, you're more than welcome to, but that's why I was doing more of a thin sound to keep it more like the recording. So now with a vocal line, basically it's a B, A, G, and then it does it again, B, A, G, and then a C, B, A, and then we have chords walking down. So chords on this area is a G, so G in the bass, D, G, and a B. And then it's a D over F sharp in the bass, D, F sharp, A, and then to an E minor, E, B, E, and a G. And then this little bass riff that is reoccurring throughout most of the piece goes down to the D and then back up to the E. And then we do the G, D over F sharp again, the E minor again. Okay, and so the second measure, whenever you're on the E minor, that's the 9/8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then into the next area. So that's where the 9/8 or the 3 feel comes into play. The other thing to point out before we go to that last little part is that it's the inside, if you will, of my notes that's doing the pulsating of what I'll call quarter notes, and it's the outside, our bass and then our top melody, that it's sustaining. Like that. Okay, so here's the last little area, the intro. So it's a D over A, so A, and I'm putting in an E, so really technically it should be that, but I like to add that 9 aspect. It kind of adds a nice little color. So either way, but the main thing is make sure you get this A here, and then A here, and then a C. And then over a G, G, D, G and a B, D over F sharp, so F sharp in the bass, D, F sharp, A. Now here's where the chords just kind of walk down. So is a D still over an E, and then we get into the D7. So the 7 is the C, D, F sharp, D in the bass. And again, it was pulsating now fully with the right hand. Now D7 over C, the C in the bass. And then here we have the 3 measure with the bass riff that leads us into the verse. And we can either do just continual, what I'm calling quarter notes, and technically it's a dotted quarter note, but and then into the verse, or we can, you can rhythmically do the same thing if you want, or just let the bass. Okay, now we're ready for the verse. Okay, so let me play through it. Okay, clap, clap, clap. Let me do the verse thing again. I was kind of hesitating. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, now I'm going to demonstrate the verse. Okay. Clap, clap, clap. Okay, so now I'm going to demonstrate the verse for you, and then we'll go back and talk about those notes. Back into a verse again. It does basically 2 verses before it gets to the chorus. Okay, so notes, it is a D and then going to 2 B's, A, G, G's, E, A, E. And then we have the B's again, A, G, G's, E to A, E. And here's where it's a little bit different. B's again, and then A, G, G. And this time it goes up, E, G, B, and then toggles back and forth between A and G. And then D, and then E, D, C, D. Okay, now rhythmically, here's where I mentioned a little bit of differences in some notation. On count 2 of each one of those measures of 12/8, we have a borrowed subdivision of 4. So it's like playing 16th notes, if you will, from 4/4, slamming it into a 12/8, which is based off of triplets or the 8 feel. So how we would count that and play it is 1, and that's the triplet part. 1, 2 E and a 3, a 4 triplet, 1, 2, and 3, and there's a measure of 3. Then 1, 2 E and a 1, 2 E and a 3, a 4 triplet, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and here's the last area. 1, 2 E and a 3, a 4 triplet, 1, a 2, a 3, 4, a 1 E and 2. So there's a little vocal slur riff, if you will. We're taking a syllable and doing multiple notes, and then finally resting on the last part of the word of the syllable. And that's on count 2. So that first part is 1 en 2 is how you would count that. Okay, so chord-wise, I'll show you what everything is, and then I'll go back and explain how I played this. G, D over F sharp, E minor, and then we have that bass riff, and then back to a G, D over F sharp, E minor. Okay, and then we have D over A, or if you want to do a D7 over A, you can, either way. G, D over F sharp, and then D over E, and then it's a D7, D7 over C, and then again the bass riff, and then it repeats. Now, what I'm doing, because there's so much melodic movement within the rhythm, I'm keeping it very simple and just doing basic octaves and the melody up in my right hand. I'm not really chording it out, so to speak. And then the bass riff, and back to the... So notice how it's pretty thin, so to speak. Now up to the A. Here's where I finally get back into the chords, and then you repeat the verse at that juncture. Okay, so I'm going to move on and show you the chorus, and then we'll talk about the notes. Goes into the love little interlude thing again before it actually repeats the chorus. So let's talk about the melody. It's a bunch of D's. 1, 2, and 3, and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and that's a 2 triplet, a 4. Okay, so when we got up here, and I went up to a D sharp, to an E, and then B, and then these notes are A, B, A, G's. Okay, so it's pretty simple rhythmically, very repetitive. So it's the chords that makes it interesting. So it's a G chord, G in the bass, G, B, and D. And then it's an A sus, A's, E, A, and the sus is the melody of the D, and then to a D chord, D, A, F sharp, A, and D. And then we had that little horn riff. I'm going to kind of bypass that for just now, the moment, and then we will come back and talk about that. So you can just hold on to that if you don't want to play and then if you want to add a 7 aspect, kind of fill things up, and then go back and do the same thing again. It's a G to a B7, so B's, F sharp, A, B, and D sharp, to an E minor, E, B, G, B, E, and then a G over D, D in the bass, D, G, B, and then to a C, so I had like a C fifth type sound, C and a G, And because of the melody, it's almost like a D sus. And then it finally resolves the chord into a G for a 2 count. Now, all that chorus was in 12/8 until we got to that last little hold there before the Love, Love, Love interlude. That is a 6/8. So basically 2 counts, and then you're into Love, Love. Okay, so let me play through that, and then we'll get to the horn lick, and I'll describe that. Okay, so right here is on count 3. That's where the horns have their little riff that they excuse me, riff that they do. So it's an F sharp, F natural, E, E flat, D. That's the top note. Bottom note is basically D's, C sharp, C natural to a B, and then your left hand, D, D, G, A, G. So basically once we start, this is with the F sharp, then we go down to the F natural. Everything from here on out with the right hand is half steps, making everything go down in half steps. Okay, so when you put it together, this is a D chord, D minor. This is a C sharp diminished because it's inverted. If we take this G and put it up on top, there's your C sharp diminished. A diminished. And then it resolves to a G. It's a pretty cool little lick idea there. Riff. Sorry, I should have went to the G. B at that point. So it's a neat little idea. Now, if you're not able to throw that in when you're playing, just like I said, do the D7 and then go back to, and then you're ready for the B, so on and so forth. Okay, so we play through that. 1, 2. Now it's love, and then again, do the pulsating in the inside. Then it goes to the verse again. So that was a double chorus. Then we're back to the third verse. Plays through the verse and does another chorus. And at the end of the chorus, this time, I'll play at the end of the chorus. It does another double chorus, but there is a 6/8 hold, if you will, in between the double choruses. So here's basically connects the two choruses. So you play through the chorus, and it's another 1, 2, and then here's the ending. The tag ending gets looped over and over and over, forever and ever. What we're going to concentrate on is the lead vocal, because it kind of banters back and forth between the lead vocal and the background vocals. So we're going to concentrate on the lead vocal. So after that 2 beat hold, 1, 2, then it's going to be a G for 2, and then on count 3 you go to D, and then on count 4 it's still a D chord, but this is where you do the melody of 4 triplet a 2. So it's A, B, A, G's. And then you're back to the G. So it's going to pulsate back and forth between that idea. So what I'm doing is G octaves, and then when I get to the D, doing the 5th type sound of D and A. And if you want, you can add the D to help give more sustained tonality at that juncture instead of just plain octave Gs. could get a full-fledged G if you wanted to. A little more movement. Either way will work. Okay, so that's all the parts. Basically, we had the French national anthem intro. Then it went into the vocal intro, which became an interlude, where they did the Love, Love, Loves. We had the verse, that area. Then our chorus. And that's your main sections. And how they connect was in various different formats. Not necessarily your traditional verse, chorus format, but some different gyrations that made the song very interesting. So what I'm going to do is we're going to play along with the recording now with the Beatles. I'm going to let the first measure or so go by with the recording, and then we'll jump in on the upper top note and continue on to the end. Okay, so give me 1 minute here to get the band ready, and we'll play along.